Tara, samahan niyo ako't manood kung ano nga ba yung pinag-uusapan sa ating bansang Pilipinas. Pero kung bago ka pa lang sa channel natin, huwag mong kalimutang pindutin ang subscribe button pati na rin ang bell para ma-notify kayo sa mga bago nating ilalabas na video. Kaya samahan niyo na ako, tara't manood. Let's go!
Welcome to China in Focus. I'm Tiffany Meyer. Just as the world gets prepared for the novel coronavirus or CCP virus, there is another virus causing panic. According to reports, a migrant worker in China suddenly felt unwell in the early hours of March 23rd and was rushed to the hospital. He died several hours later. According to health authorities, the man tested negative for the CCP virus but did test positive for another virus, the Hanta virus. So what is the Hanta virus and how worried should people be? According to the CDC, hantaviruses are a type of virus commonly spread by rodents and can cause several different types of diseases. It can spread to people through inhaling air from rodent urine or droppings that's infected with a hantavirus. According to the CDC, treatment options are limited, so it's best to avoid rodents. So what are the symptoms? According to the Mayo Clinic, there are two stages. The first stage includes flu-like symptoms. Then the condition usually worsens after 10 days to potentially life-threatening breathing problems. In North America, the mortality rate is over 30%. According to Chinese state-run media, the medical teams that came from other places to Hubei province to help are going home now. But according to Chinese Caixing.net, an internal document from March 20th shows the Hubei novel coronavirus epidemic prevention and control headquarters asked medical teams from outside Hubei province to stay, and the date of departure would be announced later. A source said right now, every day there are up to a dozen asymptomatic patients who test positive. The situation in Wuhan is unclear. As the pandemic continues to spread around the world, Chinese authorities announced they will lift travel bans to and from Hubei province. This as authorities have been reporting close to zero new cases for several days, but locals are worried. A citizen in Wuhan told us many people have tested positive again.
In Wuhan, many people who have been treated or quarantined in temporary hospitals have relapsed and tested positive again. Now the hospitals do not dare to accept patients. There are policies to this.
A big data analysis conducted by the University of Southampton research team in mid-February of 60,000 people who left Wuhan is lining up with how the CCP virus is actually spreading. In mid-February, the research team, known as World Pop, had tracked the mobile phone movement of around 60,000 people who left Wuhan before it was put on lockdown. The map tracked them to cities mostly in Asia, but also Europe, US, Australia, and other countries. It predicted the virus would spread further and warned countries to be prepared, and high-risk cities in China and around the world should strengthen screening to prevent the spread. And a new report in France Radio International reveals how Chinese media create video programs showing international support for China. According to the March 22nd report, a media in China published an ad online in Chinese and English to hire one international student to make a video about racial discrimination against Chinese because of the novel coronavirus. The ad didn't specify what country, just indicated the shooting time would be 2 hours and the price 60 euros. In the Chinese version, the ad specifically states the need to face the camera and raise a sign, but did not mention what would be written on the sign. Yesterday, we reported about a photo circulating online of a banner which read "Congratulations to the U.S. epidemic" and wished the Japanese epidemic a smooth, long sailing. It was posted on a restaurant in China. This photo is now going viral in Japan and aroused anger among the Japanese. Yesterday, the owner of the restaurant was fired from the company. A netizen wrote, "Authoritarians indoctrinate people with hatred of foreign countries in order to redirect the anger of the people toward foreign countries. People do not understand the intentions of authorities and think they are patriotic by criticizing foreign countries. They don't know that the rulers don't need you to be patriotic. They only need you to obey and keep silent when being oppressed." The CCP virus spreading from Wuhan has cost an unknown number of lives in that city alone, possibly numbering in the thousands or tens of thousands. And now one resident wants to hold local officials accountable for the devastation it's caused.
A taxi driver in Wuhan lost his mom to the CCP virus. Now he wants the government to compensate. He talked to her sister media, the Chinese Epoch Times. We're using a pseudonym for Zhang, and his voice has been distorted to protect his identity.
I recorded the whole process of taking her to the hospitals. I have the videos and I have the receipts. Now I can't go out yet. When I can go out, I will find a lawyer, even sue the regime for compensation. This is not a natural disaster. It's a man-made disaster.
He took his mom to 3 hospitals. At the last hospital, they waited an entire day for a bed. Soon after his mom was admitted, her condition turned critical and she passed away. He blames Wuhan officials for covering up the outbreak in its early stages. First, concealing that it happened, and second, saying it wouldn't spread between humans.
They suppressed the 8 whistleblowers. The Public Security Bureau said they were spreading rumors. Of course, we trusted the Public Security Bureau. Then an expert came out and said, it can't transmit human to human, nothing to worry about. That's how it got so bad in Wuhan. This is completely due to irresponsible acts of government officials.
He pointed to one person particularly deserving of blame, Wuhan Central Hospital's Communist Party secretary, Tsai Li.
The party secretary in the Central Hospital, she didn't allow the doctors to talk about it. They couldn't even wear face masks. That's why the Central Hospital suffered the most losses.
Zhang said these officials, and especially this party secretary, should answer for this disaster.
For regular folks, if you drive under the influence and endanger the public, you'll be sentenced at least 6 months, even without hurting anybody. Her action resulted in so many deaths.
He added, since his mom got sick, he had to deal with various officials of the Chinese Communist Party. He said in his experience, these officials would rather deflect blame than take full responsibility for what they do.
A lawyer from Wuhan, China, is suing the U.S. government for bringing the CCP virus to Wuhan. The lawyer is asking the U.S. to pay for the economic loss he suffered and for President Trump to publicly apologize to him.
A Chinese lawyer named Liang Xuguang is trying to bring President Trump and other U.S. officials to court for spreading the virus. The CCP virus first appeared in Wuhan, China last December and has since infected 400,000 people around the globe. But the Chinese lawyer thinks the U.S. is responsible. According to China state media, the complaint claims that the U.S. government let the virus spread to the entire world, and Wuhan is one of the worst hit areas. The lawsuit was filed last Friday at Wuhan Intermediate People's Court. His complaint was published on China state media and went viral on social media Weibo. One Chinese outlet calling the lawsuit the first gunshot against America. The lawyer claims that he is just an ordinary person suing in the name of the Wuhan people. But according to a Chinese online encyclopedia, he is actually a local official responsible for legal affairs. In an interview with Radio Free Asia, the lawyer said he was acting in accordance with China's Department of Foreign Ministry. Earlier this month, a Chinese spokesperson suggested on Twitter that the U.S. military brought the virus to Wuhan. So far, no incredible scientist has provided any evidence to support this. The Chinese CDC originally said the virus originated from a Wuhan seafood market. The lawsuit came after several U.S. lawyers sued the Chinese regime for covering up the outbreak and allowing the virus to spread globally.
But we feel that the Chinese government knew about the disease, they knew about the virus, they did nothing to contain it, and they tried to protect their own economic self-interests and didn't disclose what they knew until it was too late and it became a widespread pandemic soon thereafter. We're talking trillions and trillions of dollars in damage that has been caused because China did not want to tell the world about what they knew. That is unacceptable.
The Chinese Communist Party has silenced whistleblowers and cracked down on journalists who tried to inform the world about the situation in China. Penny Zhou, NTD News.
Since the outbreak of the CCP virus, life inside the epicenter has not been easy. Videos circulating online say residents are committing suicide out of desperation. Just a warning, some of the following content may be disturbing to viewers. NTD Shu and Rong has more.
Even if the virus doesn't kill you, you might still die from lack of food. This is a huge problem for sure. As the lockdown continues in Wuhan City, videos circulating online show the desperation of residents running out of food, money, or even being denied treatment. A Wuhan resident told us on March 20th that the difficulties in the epicenter are causing people in China to commit suicide.
People are tired, hopeless. I don't know how many have jumped from buildings. Around 10 days ago, basically every other day or two, there were people jumping off buildings or committing suicide, using all kinds of methods.
On February 25th, a netizen from China revealed that a patient with CCP virus returned home from hospital in Wuhan and found that the family had all died. He then hanged himself on the roof. A video on Twitter posted on February 16th shows a woman trying to jump off from the place that looks like a bridge. The woman in the video said, "Even if you help me, I won't survive." And the man saying, "Don't worry, if you're sick, look for a doctor." Videos like these have been coming out of China for months.
I have seen many people who jumped. Why? People can't survive, that's why they jump.
Some are even refused medical treatment. Another video posted on February 21st shows someone hanging from a building. The person who took the video said in Wuhan dialect, "Another death." This tweet is...
Kung nagustuhan mo ang video na to, huwag mong kalimutang i-like. At kung bago ka pa lang sa channel natin, don't forget to hit the subscribe button at pindutin mo na rin ang bell para updated ka sa mga bago nating ilalabas na video.